Okay.
Hey everyone, Chris from Iris here, demonstrating some AI inspection of pickles through vision. Goal today is kind of show off capabilities and ease of setup of AI vision inspection tools. So today we're doing testing for a customer who makes pickles, and the goal is to inspect and sort based on good, bad, as well as size. So simulating pickles coming down a conveyor, we've got a Keyence VS camera with AI detection capabilities, and got a program pre-programmed here to kind of show off. We are first finding the pickle and then applying an AI vision tool to inspect and pass or fail that pickle. So one of the things I want to do is kind of show off how easy this was to set up. So in this case, I'm gonna actually just add a new tool here and do it all again to kind of show how simple that is. So I'm gonna add a new AI detection tool. And so as that adds in, all I have to do is tell it that I'm going to train it a new data set, move my region that I'm interested in around the size of the pickle. So one of the things I want to do here is I'm actually going to increase and oversize this so that as the pickle changes size, so does the inspection window. So as I add that in here, I'm going to use all the default settings to show kind of simplicity here. And I'm just going to start adding images to my data set. So as I do this, I just can kind of move the pickle around and add images. So what I'm doing is, for any given pickle, making sure that the product is following the pickle, and do a couple different orientations, because the goal here is to really show as much variety as we can, because pickles are such an organic shape. We want to make sure that we capture a good variety in any model, because we wanted be able to detect any deviation from that model. So as we get different shapes, different sizes, textures, all of that, that's going to go in here. So for each one of these, I'm going to just add more images to the data set. And now with, typical flaw detection, AI vision, if you're not doing an organic shape, you can do this in as little as 10 images and like 5 products. And you'll get a reasonably accessible model. Now, with something as organic as this, you want to show it a lot of variety, because things will change pretty often. For an application like this, typically what I'd say is you want to be somewhere on the 25 to 50 images as like a first pass, just to prove concepts, right? And then as you go into more of a production, you want to blend that over thousands of images over multiple days and shifts, because the product will change so drastically day to day. You want to make sure you've accounted for all of that variety as much as you can. Goal here is just kind of proof of concept viability. This will work, and I'll even demonstrate a little bit of like to what extent it actually works. And then over time, the idea was that through some retraining methodologies, you can really dial it in even more. And so this, again, is only being trained on good products. So you don't have to have bad product. In a situation, you can do more of a supervised training where you train on bad product as well. You don't want to do that with too small sample sets, because if you do that, it will only detect the defects that you've trained. And if you have a random defect that you haven't seen before, it might not be caught because it wasn't trained as a defect. So all in kind of the logistics and process of training. But so in this case, I've got 39 images in here now. So I'm going to select those to train, and this is going to go through the training. The training actually is happening on the camera itself right now. It's going to take just a minute or two to train, and then from there we'll be able to set a threshold, deploy, and start testing. So you can see kind of the image collection training side of things just takes a couple minutes, and with that you're able to really get to a system that functions and can inspect. So as this is going through the training, kind of talking through some of the benefits of having AI detection is, you don't have to be a vision expert by any means. You just got to get a good image, and once you got a good image, collect your images, label them good, bad, and then hit train. There are a lot of parameters that you can tweak to get better or focus on certain features. In this case, most of the time your default settings are gonna do really well, and tweaking that can get you, small increases in performance, and whether that's speed performances or detection capabilities performances. And so what this is doing right now is this is basically taking all those images that were taken, forming multiple varieties of each image, putting them into a model that's essentially creating this model of the perfect pickle. And what it does then is it compares any image that it has to that perfect pickle. So when I throw a pickle on here now, you can see I'm in pass. If I look at my judgment tab, it gives me a score. Right now, this one is anywhere between 10 and 30 score. 0 is perfect. As you get higher number, the further away you get from 0, the less perfect it is, right? So what we can do now is give it an upper limit. I'm gonna give it an upper limit of 150. We'll test that out and see how that kind of performs. And so what we can see is, as I'm doing that, all those pickles that we trained on are now showing as good in whatever orientation that I sent it. So this one is actually on my old tool failing, but on the new tool, it's passing. So kind of showing you kind of iteratively what works, what doesn't. So even some kind of oddly shaped, more deformed will show up in there. Now, if you wanted that to fail, you could set your threshold differently or train it as bad. And then it also can detect defects, like something that has like a bite taken out of it, say. It'll detect that in multiple orientations. If you snapped one in half, partial. Or in a case like this, which is more subtle with just a slice taken out of it, still gonna be able to detect that. And just to kind of show that this is not because it's the images that we trained on, open up a brand new jar, throwing a new one on there, we're getting good right out the bat. So it doesn't need to be trained on the specific things that you're inspecting, and still detects defects. So all this is being done in really quick time too. So our inspection time is roughly 85 milliseconds per. So that's putting us at right around 1,000 parts per minute of inspection. And that can be increased with some tweaking of settings and stuff like that. But in general, showing rough capabilities of AI vision. So thanks for joining.